You alright guys, welcome back to another video, and this video is a very special one. Today we're at a live tune-in for the Muddy Freelander Club Open Day, so come along with us, see what we get up to. Right, next up on the dyno is Warren's car. All I know about it is it makes whoosh whoosh noises. There's someone behind you making funny hand gestures, makes chuff chuff noises, and if I get Alana to pan to the engine bay, has lovely orange hoses and things like that. If you want to find out more about this car, probably best going over to Alive Tunings. They have a YouTube channel called Alive Tunings.
We'll put the link just here.
Just somewhere around there.
Just there.
And that's a GoPro handle, by the way.
That is a GoPro handle.
But yeah, they'll probably have far more details about it than what I'll ever will. This is not a technical video because I ain't got a clue and I'm not going to pretend I do. So yeah, makes chuff chuff noises. Enjoy this. Just a quick side note on MuddyMods' Turbo Freelander 1. This was purely going in for a dyno run just to see what it can do. Unfortunately, I have been told to hold off from showing the figures, so you will have to use your imagination to work out what it might or might not have done. But I can tell you something for nothing. It is fast and it did well. Right, now you've seen Warren's car with chuff chuff noises. Here's Aaron's car, completely standard, I believe, standard map. So you're about to see what that produces, and I think he's going for a remap as well. So let's see what that produces.
Did you put that in the middle of the rollers, Stu? It's not match or anything. Oh man.
For those of you that have never seen a screen like this before, let's go through a few key points. First of all, starting off with the top left hand corner, the thumbs up button. That means you should like this video instantly. So if you haven't done so already, go down below and like this video. Moving over to the right hand side, the P norm is the brake horsepower figure. Then if you move down, you can see at what point the peak power is achieved in RPM. You can also see what kilometers an hour it is also doing. Moving down slightly again in orange, you can see M norm. That's the peak torque figure that it achieved. You can also see what RPM it achieved, the peak torque, and at what speed. Moving over to the left hand side, going from 0 to 250, that is the Newton meter scale. Right hand side going from 0 to 500, that is the brake horsepower scale, and then from 0 to 5000 along the bottom, that is the RPM. The lines that you see on the screen, the orange one is the torque and the red one is the brake horsepower figure. So in summary, Aaron's standard Freelander 2 that left the factory as 160 brake horsepower achieved 157 brake horsepower with 386 Newton meters of torque. Now let's see what it can do once it's got an Alive Tuning remap put on it. Next onto the dyno is Klaine's light blue Freelander 2. This car was particularly interesting because from talking to him, I don't think he had brought this car all that long ago. On top of that, I think he was unaware whether it had a remap on it or not. One of the great things about Alive Tunings Dyno is sometimes you discover issues with your car that you didn't realise you had, such as in this example, where when they try and do the first dyno run, it jumps into limp mode, which causes them to have to switch off the car and switch it back on again. They found out the cause of the limp mode was actually the map that had been put onto the car. When Martin and Stuart spoke to Klaine, he mentioned to him that he was thinking about doing some towing. Had he done some towing with the existing map, he probably would have found this issue with his car and it would have left him high and dry in limp mode. So while Klaine didn't gain a whole lot of brake horsepower and torque out of this dyno session, he did gain a much more reliable car because of it. Next on the dyno is Shell's Freelander 2. This one got everyone confused and perplexed. The car already has a remap on it from another company. When it went for its first run, it almost appeared like it had a dodgy remap put on it. You'll see from the chart before Alive Tuning put their remap on it, the car accelerates in a lovely manner and then just plateaus and sits there almost like it's being held back. Alive Tuning went away and customised the map for this car. When it went for its second run, the same behaviour presented itself and you'll see on the graph yet again the curve goes up and then almost flat lines. Massive credit goes to Alive Tuning because they went away, rechecked their map, twiddled with things they could twiddle with, put another map onto the car to see if it would solve the issue. Attempt number 3 and the same behaviour presented itself once again, which was then put down as some sort of issue within the car. While the car was at Alive Tuning's premises, they did a smoke test on the car to check for leaks. The end result was that everything was airtight and there was no leaks to be seen. At least when that gremlin is finally sorted, then the car should run a whole lot better now that it's got an Alive Tuning remap put on it. So without further ado, here's the dyno runs of Shell's Freelander 2. That's right, next on the dyno, it's our turn. Going into this, I wasn't even sure if they'd even be able to dyno our car, let alone get a result or even remap it. I'll let you into a little secret. We have actually had our car remapped in the past, so it's not running standard power. Before this Muddy Freelander club day, I actually went out to do some tests where I'd go from each gear from 1000 to 3000 revs, staying within the speed limit. But during them tests, every now and again the turbo would just basically cut out and not give me any power. So when it went on the dyno, I didn't actually think it would give them a result. Thankfully it did. Has it solved them issues? I'm not sure yet, because as of editing this video, I've not had a chance to test the car out again. So enjoy seeing what our car can do on Alive Tunings Dyno, and then see what it can do with a Alive Tunings remap put onto it. Right, car dynoed, big squiggly lines. This one is a line, that one's a line, there's a line there, there's a line there. Been told there won't be much more to that over there. Little bits here and there, but squiggly lines. Gonna probably be better squiggly lines.
Pretty colour squiggly lines.
I was going to say the brake horsepower's obviously gone up a touch.
Yeah, your torque's very, very similar anyway in terms
Yeah.
of peak figures. It's just a lot more accessible. A lot on there.
Nice.
Now see your horsepower. What do we do? 271 was it? Somewhere in there. What did we do horsepower beforehand? 270 something.
170.
Yeah, sorry, 170.
Yeah.
170.
Maybe 174. It's on the screen. It's just there. Put the cursor on it. 174
Ah, yeah.
versus 183.
Nice.
So not really much difference with the peak torque, but
Yeah.
in places like right from the word go, and then throughout the rev range, it just holds in longer.
Yeah. Right, just a quick one. This is our test afterwards. I get Alana to pan to the screen. There's a faint little orange line here and a darker one. That's after, that's before. That's torque. You can see from there's a difference in torque. 1000 RPM to 1700, that would be off-roading range. And then 1700 to 3000, that would be your driving range. And obviously there's a horsepower difference, but we're looking more at torque than horsepower because that's where diesel engines excel. Next up on the dyno is Andy's black Freelander 1. A couple of things to note about this car is one, they had a little tinker around with his raised air intake to see how that would affect things, and two, this already had an Alive Tuning remap already on it from days gone past. So let's see the difference of an old remap from Alive to a new remap from Alive Tuning. The penultimate car onto the dyno is Tom and Chloe's, aka Freya. This one's a nice and simple dyno run only, as Tom has already got his car remapped by another company. At least coming on a club day like this, for example, he can actually see what his car is actually producing on Alive Tunings Dyno. Last but no means least is Paul in his facelifted Freelander 2. It was really cool to have Paul here on the day because he was the only one with an SD4 Freelander 2. And for those of you that don't know the difference between the TD4 and the SD4, the TD4s pull 160 brake horsepower from the factory and the SD4s pull 190 as standard from the factory. While he went there to potentially have an Alive Tuning remap put on his car, ultimately it was deemed not the best choice to do due to a few mechanical gremlins that were creeping in on his car. So unfortunately on this day we'll never know what an SD4 can produce with an Alive Tuning remap put on it. That is everyone done and dusted on the dyno from the day, and I want to jump in here real quick before I go into the outro and you'll click off this video. One of the biggest topics that people get concerned about when it comes to remapping your car is obviously insurance. I can only explain from my point of view, but I know when I contacted my insurance company, which is Howden's, which used to be known as A-Plan Insurance, I give them a call, I mention what the car was, which was 160 brake, and what it is now. They then put it through to the underwriters, and because the underwriters declared that it was such a small amount of power that we've gained, that there'd be no additional premium on our insurance. The only charge that we got was a simple £12.50 admin charge to add it to our policy. So for those of you out there that are concerned that it will skyrocket your insurance premium, then give your insurance company a call and see if it will beforehand. So I'll now deliver you back to me in the past to outro this video. That was the Muddy Freelander Club Day at Alive Tuning. Absolute fantastic day. Big thanks to Stuart and Martin for letting me stand in the cell while the cars were in the dyno. Much appreciated. Just to let you know, feel free to come down to Alive Tuning to get your car on the dyno and mapped if you want. But I know for a fact that if you want the same maps as what's been put on our cars, give MuddyMods a ring, an email, a bell, a message, whatever you want to do, because they're also agents of Alive Tuning, so they can supply you exactly the same maps for your car. So if you want your car to have a bit of extra horsepower, then Alive Tuning, MuddyMods, contact them. Definitely worth it. We're well happy with our extra horsepower, extra torques overall. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you everyone, and splat!
Splat.